few miles down the road, we come to a factory run by Diligent. The company doesn't grow jatropha itself, it buys seeds from farmers like Samson. Once here, the seeds are crushed and processed.
Now look carefully at what's dripping down from that press and you'll see pretty much the finished product here, crude jatropha oil. Now once it's been cleaned up and processed, it can be used to fuel cars, it can go to a generator to help produce electricity. It's even been used to fuel a 747 jetliner on an experimental flight.
Jatropha can also be used to make other products like soap and candles. Researchers are also looking into possible medical applications. But here's the rub. The government is facing complaints that food production is being threatened because so many farmers are focusing on jatropha rather than on crops you can actually eat. And that's something a poor country like Tanzania can ill afford. Faustina Manan works for Diligent and travels by a car fueled by, yes, you guessed it, jatropha. Her job is to liaise with the farmers and encourage efficient management of the crop. The company is facing real pressure from the government to make sure jatropha doesn't squeeze out food production.
The government shouting about this for some of the farmers. They plant only jatropha without food production. We are trying to get them to growing to mix the food production and like a maize, like a beans. Now they get something they know. They agree and they do that.
The message does seem to be getting through, at least to some farmers.
We normally grow jatropha on a part of the land that we feel is less fertile, or around the fence. So it doesn't mean we've stopped growing food crops.
But critics still question whether jatropha really can be the green gold its supporters claim. Production around the world is still small, and certainly not enough to make a real dent in our demand for fossil fuels. True, it can grow in poor conditions, but some scientists say that the amount of oil produced under such conditions will also be poor. So, while the farmers of this small village continue to exploit this new source of income, the status of jatropha as a possible wonder biofuel remains uncertain. Egon Kosu, African Business Report, in Arusha, Tanzania.
Now that's the story here in Tanzania. Let's cross the border to Kenya, where Kevin Wachiro reports on the efforts to harness the energy surging below the surface of the earth.
Kenya's picturesque Rift Valley is teeming with energy potential. This stunning landscape is home to Kenya's contribution to a world of green energy. Geothermal wells like this one have been in operation since the early 1980s, though it is only now that the government is showing renewed interest in this vast and renewable energy reserve.
And from here you have good water and food.
Geothermal energy is seen as key in helping Kenya move towards industrialization.
For the next almost 10 years, we will be generating about 140 megawatts from 2012 per year. And that means that we should be able to have more than 3,000 megawatts by 2018 online.
Carrier is Africa's largest geothermal plant, generating close to 170 megawatts of electricity annually from renewable sources of energy. It is hoped that this plant, within the next 4 years, will double its capacity and somehow be able to feed the appetite of this electricity-hungry nation.
But electricity in Kenya is not cheap. The government is keen to have 1 million new customers annually connected to its already strained national grid. Currently, only 15% of the nation has access to electricity. Extreme measures like electricity rationing, as was experienced this year, in addition to power outages, is proof enough that Kenya should have taken up geothermal energy years ago.
There was certainly a bit of dragging of the feet, and this probably came in a record between 1996 and 2003. That is actually considered as a record.
Seneca for more reliable, cleaner, and dependable sources of electricity. Drilling wells like this now all the more common here at All Korea as the search for viable steam wells continues.
Despite the slow start, investors are now knocking on Kenya's doors to cash in on the country's steamy reserves. The government has committed itself to spending $5 billion over the next 5 years towards geothermal expansion in the country.
We have All Korea 1 to prove that we can make money. The economic life of the plant is about 25 years with an expected minimum return of 15%. And that means that if you generate beyond 25 years, then you'll be making 100% profit.
And if the government continues putting its money where its mouth is, it is hoped that in a not too distant future, Kenya stands to be an electricity exporter, earning itself much needed green bucks from clean energy. Kevin Wachiro, BBC News, Kenya.
And that's it for this edition of Africa Business Reports, coming to you this month from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Now, if you want to find out more about any of the stories in this program or any of our other programs, visit our website, bbc.com/Africa Business Reports, and you can check us out on Facebook as well. I'll leave you with some sights and sounds of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.